week 3 of the NFL, week 4 of college football, right? Or
No.
preview?
Yeah, preview, and then, yeah, that's right.
So recap
three,
of week
4.
2 and week 3 of college football.
That's correct.
So this is CMB Sports Show. I am your host, Braylon Brakefield. With me, the other voice on the line is my good friend Cole Lepchitz. Cole, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? It's just good to be back, you know what I mean? It's like, I think October is the best month, and we are just on the cups of it. Like, it's just so close. I'm excited.
Is it, were you trying to say
Cusps. That's what that's what I said.
Word. That's a tough word. I think you say just cups.
You know, it may have rolled off the tongue that way, but that's not what I said.
Okay. I believe you. Cusps that's tough. I'm just gonna take that out of my vocabulary.
It's one you really gotta slow down in your head before you say it, and I just didn't slow it down enough. I mean, I'll be straight up honest. I'm just so excited. Cusps.
You gotta sneak the
it's like
back-to-back
wasps.
S's. That's tough. Yeah. That stomping is getting
when you ever get that
ridiculous.
SPS, you know what I mean? Ridiculous.
It literally sounds like I'm like in a zoo right now. Or like there's a sumo wrestling match above me. Okay. It's really loud on my side.
What's wrong with that?
There's a sumo match outside. I'd like to at least go watch.
Yeah, I want to go take some action on it.
Go wrestle somebody upstairs.
That's right.
I would just about guarantee you I could beat up 2 of the 3 people upstairs. With the third one being Charlie. That's the one I would be
I think
iffy on.
I mean, Maggie's got a nasty right hook, though.
Yeah, Maggie I wouldn't even put in there. I think Maggie's got me. So
she's like undisputed. You know what I mean? Like, when she gave that right hook to Lindsay that time, gave her the black eye. I mean, I was like, you know what? This is your house. I'll let you know, and then you can let Braylon know I'm coming over.
Yeah, she's a lot. What was your big takeaway of college football week 3?
You know, it was super entertaining. A lot of good games. It started early with that Friday night. Florida State Louisville was like a thriller, like back and forth. But overall, I mean, kind of more of the same. I kind of looking through to see if there was any upsets. I mean, Notre Dame hung on, which was just probably even more embarrassing than losing.
Finally got his first win.
That one. One of the games that was surprising was Oregon BYU. That was very unexpected. Which, I mean, thinking back, we should have guessed it, like Bo Nix being electric at home. Even though it's like a rental kind of place. You know, I don't know. It was like the perfect spot for a letdown for BYU. I mean, it's just like the gauntlet.
And BYU's schedule is tough. And I think this was the one, because I think they get USC at home. They get Arkansas at home. I know they get Arkansas at home. I don't know about USC. So their schedule is still strong enough, I think, to make it to the playoffs.
They have, so they lost to Oregon, at Oregon, which is a notably tough place to play. They get Wyoming at home, Utah State at home, Notre Dame at home. Wow, that's a ton of home games in a row. Then Arkansas at home, at Liberty, East Carolina at home. That one will be a really good one late in the year.
You think?
At Boise, I don't even know, UTTCH.
No idea.
Who knows?
University
FC West,
Tennessee,
FCS
Charleston.
West, and then at Stanford to end the year. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so they don't even play USC.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, if they can, take care of business, Notre Dame, grind one out against Arkansas, and beat ECU at home.
They're going to win those
at
three.
Stanford to finish to put a good good note into the voters' minds. I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, that eight
They
and a
just got to
half
win
win
convincingly
total is good
over
now. Arkansas.
Yeah,
If they beat
for
Arkansas
sure.
pretty easily, I think they'll have a good case.
Yeah, I think that's like the telltale. Because, I mean, Arkansas is still going to be there, in the top 10 by then. Which I think Arkansas will be coming off playing Alabama.
Arkansas is an underdog this week against A&M.
Yeah, which is weird. I think they had some injuries in their secondary. Is kind of why. Like, their secondary's been struggling.
It
But
already kind of stunk.
Dude, they got they have Drew Sanders transferred from Alabama. He came in for like that other side of Will Anderson last year. White dude from Texas, 5-star, like legit. He goes to Arkansas and he's like the dude. I mean, he is everywhere, tackling everybody. So that's definitely a notable player on their defense. But I mean, if they don't have somebody back like in the secondary, I mean, you're going to get shredded, especially in the SEC. It doesn't matter who, Max Johnson's going to be good enough to find your weakness if you can't get to him.
Going to Max Johnson was the best thing A&M could have done.
I don't even know how that other dude beat him out. Like, Max Johnson is a proven SEC quarterback. I mean, I don't know about proven, but he has experience.
He's left-handed. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a bias.
It just looks weird. Like I sent in our group. There's a video of Tua where they flip the game, and Tua looks incredible as a right-handed quarterback. As a lefty, he looks like he has
very smooth.
He looks like he has a weak arm, and it's the same thing, but it's just swapped, and he looks like incredible as a right-handed quarterback.
Yeah, that was tripping me out too. Like, because even like Lamar from the left side looks super weird, but and then like Tua like looked quick too, like getting out of the pocket and stuff. I don't know.
Lamar left-handed to me looked
strange,
like identical to Michael Vick. Like, I think he looks better left-handed, and Tua looks better right-handed.
Yeah, super weird. How about Troy just fumbling the bag against App State? I mean, that could have been one of the biggest wins. Well, I believe they beat LSU at LSU one year, but second biggest win in school history. And
at game day, game day's there.
Let them get the Hail Mary. I mean, that's got to be a heartbreaker.
The quarterback for App State, his sisters are both like TikTok famous. I'll have to send you one. You'll recognize her. One of them, she has like a famous sound that went around for a while. I'll have to send them to you. They're hilarious.
Fire. I believe my pick of the week last week was Washington State. That was the easy money over Colorado State. Ride with the boys if you're riding.
We sniffed that one out.
Yeah, we don't, we put in work here. Like, we don't just, this isn't some, like, we just come up on here on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, and just kind of chat. I mean, we put in work. We put in work for you guys. We're trying to help y'all out.
Yeah. I mean, we sniffed out a handful of lines. Like the Texas A&M, we saw that coming.
Yep.
Washington? I don't remember what my pick of the week was.
Yeah, Washington.
But Washington ended up being my biggest play of the weekend. And, yeah. I mean, those were easy. I think if you tell, like, a casual, the number 11 ranked team gets beat by whatever it was, like 2 touchdowns against an unranked team, they'd be like, that's a huge upset, when it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, everyone should have seen that coming.
Well, they just still I have some top storylines from week 3, but that's one of them. Like, their secondary is just so bad, and it was last year. It was statistically the worst
ever
secondary in college football.
Yeah,
like through all divisions. terrible. So I want to get through these just rapid fires, top storylines. We kind of touched on some of them. Oregon ain't as bad as we thought. They got pounced by Georgia. They come back with a strong, which I think Georgia's just that good. So tough spot for Oregon too, playing in Atlanta, game 1. So I'd still have them as a top 15 team. Bama starts the gauntlet part of their schedule with Vandy this week. Got Vandy. Then the actual gauntlet starts with at Arkansas, A&M, at Tennessee, Mississippi State at home, bye at LSU, at Ole Miss. So don't be surprised if they drop one of those away games like at Arkansas or at Tennessee. You heard it here first. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm a realist. It is what it is. On the flip side, Michigan ain't play nobody and they ain't gonna play nobody, and that's just a fact. You can say what you want. Like Ohio State is probably their toughest game. And Ohio State they haven't really looked like just super dominant. So probably one of the weakest schedules. Oklahoma is still good, even with Venables. Michigan State defense has more holes in it than a spaghetti strainer. And Brock Bowers has stolen the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter because people just refuse to cover him. He will just run down the field by himself, and it's like, who's that? Oh, that's Brock Bowers. Scored another touchdown.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
If there was so I guess now I'll rebuttal these. I'll go reverse. If there was a college football game right now, Brock Bowers would be the highest ranked player in the entire game.
Yeah.
And then,
yes.
So Michigan.
Unicorn.
Michigan has a super weak schedule, but I'm pretty sure Notre Dame was on their schedule and Notre Dame paid them to come off. Or they paid Notre Dame to come off. One of the two. Because I know they were supposed to play Notre Dame this year. And so now they have like the weakest schedule of all time. But in all honesty, in the Big Ten, like you've said, why would you? If they beat as Michigan, if they now, since they made it last year, if they beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten, they're in there regardless. Like, just don't slip up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. If you can schedule easy. But I just hate that the hate that Alabama got for years. Having easy schedules and whatnot, not playing home and homes. But I mean, I feel like the hate's got to be distributed where it should be at the same time. Just because I think the West is a far more grind than that the Big Ten,
100%,
East or whatever, North, whatever they call it.
They play Maryland this week. That'll be a little tricky one because Maryland's got a really good offense.
Yeah.
I think Michigan will bully them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Michigan's still a good team. Like they made the playoff last year. They got better at quarterback and they already had a decent quarterback. So, watch out for that as the year goes on. But they'll just, if anything, I didn't think before the season they'd have a shot at getting back to the playoff. But if they can beat Ohio State this year, why not?
Yeah.
They'll be well rested, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm trying to find why they canceled that, but I don't see it. Anyways. Yeah, they were supposed to play in Michigan, and then it got canceled for some reason.
Huh.
So,
That's weird.
I guess you can kind of, it is what it is, because I do think they have a lot of home and homes coming up, too, the next couple of years. It's just a weird year where I guess Notre Dame was supposed to be their big game, and then Notre Dame or they cancel or something happened. But still, you got to play somebody.
I'm fine with that. It's just watching them creep up the rankings when their toughest team has been Colorado State. I just don't know how I feel about that. Right now I have them at 6, which I think is fair. kind of deserve to be in the middle over there. Like they haven't played anybody, but they've taken care of what they've been was on the other side of the field. So you can't punish them, but I don't want to reward them at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're beating No Names by 60 every week, and it's like 60-0, so like that's still somewhat impressive to me. Right. Like your defense isn't making any mistakes, and your offense is punishing them for 4 quarters. My biggest takeaway for this weekend is definitely that Brian Harsin has to go. Like the whole, like you just can't get dog walked at home like that. I don't care who it is. Like if Georgia came in, we play Georgia next week and they beat us that bad, like it's the same thing. You can't get beat that bad at home.
I'm with you. Like I'm all with that, but at the same time, like I don't know. The fans have a right to gripe, but if like the boosters came out and made like a statement or something about their displeasure, like it's their fault. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and put the blame on Brian Harsin when he had to deal with an affair allegation all off season. And like, how are you supposed to go into a living room recruiting or talk to somebody on the phone like, yeah, man, you want to come to Auburn because we're a family and we have family values, and they're like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
like you obviously don't. So, and it's only his second year. Like he's still playing with Gus's guys, and I know it's a little bit different. You could get dudes with the transfer portal, but I mean, Gus got fired because he couldn't recruit. So like, it's tough watching it get smacked around at home. But at the same time, I don't know if it's necessarily his fault. But saying that, it's over. Like, it's gone. It's already ruined. Get him out. Like, his career is still fine. He can like make his excuses that are pretty much justified, and then Auburn can go get somebody better. Like, it's just go ahead and split ways.
Yeah, I've thrown out the feeler for Deion Sanders. That would be 1-1 for me. I think he's still young enough. I mean, to me, he's the best recruiter in football right now. Like, I don't think there's any coach that could go to an HBCU and bring in the number 1 recruit in the country. I don't think anybody can do that.
Yeah.
And then, he's got, like, I would love to have Wallow and Gilly on the Plains. I'd love to have T.O. and all these guys, Chad Johnson, like, helping your team. So I think he would be 1-1.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
You also have Urban Myers out there, if somebody wants to give him a chance a couple years. Matt Rule is going to be there.
I think if I'm an Auburn fan and say Deion Sanders says no, I think Hugh Freeze is the guy. If Greg Sankey allows it, I think he's the one. Personally, he just has like a Auburn vibe, I guess. Which I don't know what I know he signed an extension. I don't know what Auburn would have to pay to get him there, but I mean, I'm sure it would be paid.
Yeah, they don't care. They'll pay
if Greg Sankey allowed it. I think that was the issue before. Was that's who Auburn wanted, or that's who the boosters wanted, and then the AD kind of did his own search, and Greg Sankey wasn't going to allow Hugh Freeze, but I think that's the guy personally.
I could see it.
And maybe even like a stepping stone. But, I mean, he showed, he turned Ole Miss completely around. I mean, it'd be like a better Gus, I think, like a more football guy Gus.
Yeah, I just want to get back in those conversations which I'm a big recruiting classes don't really matter, but also you have to go get those guys. And I want to have my team in that definitely. Conversation, like, before the season starts.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like, rankings aren't, I mean, it's just you're judging a 17-year-old based off of camps. You know what I mean? Like, but you still have to be a good eye for, talent. You have to be a good recruiter.
Yeah.
Not, like, Jimbo's like a perfect example.
Yeah, just like collecting 5 stars because they're 5 stars. Like,
right.
that's not really helping you a ton. You go find a 3-star that's really better than that 5-star.
See, I think that's where Nick Saban is really good. He has like that Bill Belichick in him, where like we just come up with a guy like Josh Jacobs, who was a 2-star out of Oklahoma, like nobody had even heard of him, and then I mean he's the dude in with the Raiders now. So like, it's just all about finding that balance as a recruiter.
So what else do you have? College football. You want to go ahead and look at this week's games?
Yeah, let's look at this week's games. Let's do a little rundown.
Biggest one is obviously Florida, Tennessee. I think the line was Tennessee 10.5. So I think this will show us a ton about Tennessee, really. And I think it's just if they handle business. Like, you're at home. Like, if Florida loses this game, it doesn't really, or loses this game close, this doesn't really change the way I feel about Florida. But if Tennessee can, show how good they are, because I don't think we've really seen it yet. But if you go and you beat Florida by 2 scores, that shows like, hey, we're the real deal.
Right. I agree with that.
And that's a tough place to play. I think it's the biggest or the second biggest stadium in the SEC, maybe.
At Tennessee?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the second biggest behind A&M.
Yeah,
Kyle Field. Yeah, it's at Tennessee.
That'll
be your CBS 2:30 game. Oh yeah, and those fans, man, they're the worst.
They're awful people.
Worst. Auburn, Missouri will be a big one. Honestly though, just for how much pride do you have? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like 12 o'clock, like you better take care of business, or it's going to be like Coach 30 out there. Like he's going to be up on the air app. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to get dumped. Like it's not just the coaches.
Yeah, he'll be gone. Like I know we don't have an AD right now. I don't know who would fire him. He would be fired immediately.
I think it's justified for the fans to riot at this point. Just get the office, just tear it apart. I don't know, kick everybody off the team. For you bettors out there, one to watch out for is going to be Penn State, Central Michigan. Just a heads up. Central Michigan played. I'm pulling it up. They played somebody super tight at Oklahoma State, really tight at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the year, Oklahoma State pulled away at the end and won by 2 touchdowns, won by 14. But it was 58-44. Okay, Oklahoma State is number 12 right now, so they could definitely score it on you. So that's one to watch out for. Kind of watch that line. Clemson, Wake Forest will be a good test. It's at Wake Forest. That'd be 12 o'clock or the 11 o'clock on ABC.
The quarterback for Wake Forest is back too, and Wake Forest beat Clemson. No, Clemson beat Wake Forest last year, but I think it was relatively close.
Yes. North Carolina, Notre Dame on ABC at 2:30. Texas at Texas Tech at 2:30 on ESPN. Oregon, Washington State is one to watch out for on Fox at 3 o'clock.
Oh no, Clemson hammered them last year, 48-27. But Wake Forest was 9-2.
Another game of the week. 0.1 or 0.2 Arkansas A&M at Jerry World, 6 o'clock on ESPN. That'll be a really good one. I didn't realize that was such a big rivalry. I was made aware by somebody that's from Dallas that if you're from Dallas, you grew up in Dallas, you're either an A&M fan or you're an Arkansas fan. I guess they got beef with Texas for some reason in Dallas. I know Jerry Jones is a big Arkansas guy, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But A&M's favored for what it's worth by 2.5. So that'll be a good one to tune into. Yeah. Alabama's at 6:30 on SEC Network against Vandy. Ohio State, Wisconsin will be one to tune into. I think it'll be
it's a bloodbath.
USC at Oregon State on the Pac-12 network. I don't even know if that's on TV.
It's not. Yeah, I think you got to pay for that.
Kansas State at Oklahoma on Fox. That'll be the late game. And then the super late game, the 9:30 on FS1 is Stanford at Washington. So that one will be a decent one to finish the night on. Oh, also Utah at Arizona State, if you want to see Utah play. So pretty good day again. I mean, last week was pretty solid. You know, there was action at every time slot, and I think this week's going to be kind of the same.
Oh yeah, it's just I don't really feel like there's a ton of key games. I think the love's going to be spread out a little bit. Which, it's always whenever this happens that when, the crazy stuff happens. When you're like, this week is going to stink.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's the best weekend there is.
Yep. I do want to give one shout-out from last week. Old Dominion owns the state of Virginia now. They beat Virginia Tech and Virginia back-to-back weeks.
I think we talked about that one too, didn't we?
Yeah, that was one to watch out for. Because I know I had Virginia in my over or whatever their expected wins was, and it's just going to miss.
They stink.
Yeah, they're bad. That quarterback is a lefty as well. I don't even know his name. I shouldn't even know his name anymore. He's just obviously not as good as we thought.
Speaking of win totals real quick, shout out to Kansas. First team to cash the win total. Over 2.5. Yeah. How about we start the season 3-0?
Yep. Hey, they came with it, bro. They said, I don't know. I mean, they proved the doubters wrong. And, it's thumpings, too. I mean, they're putting points on the board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Leipold is going to end up getting a bigger job. I know that they've already talked about Nebraska.
Nebraska and Arizona State. He's the number one name on both lists that I've seen, and Bill O'Brien as well. For both, which I was surprised to not see. Which I guess it's not. I mean, you can't really put him on the list yet, but I would put Brian Harsin up for that Arizona State job as a fresh start.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him going to Nebraska. I think he's already has ties to Nebraska somehow. I think they're going for a bigger guy than
one of those. Yeah, because Nebraska's they had their time. They had their golden era, and they're just. I mean, they're landlocked for recruits. It's just really tough for them to do anything. But they still think of themselves as, gold tier college football. So I don't know. I could see Bill O'Brien going there. He's already had success in the Big Ten, and he'd be on the good side of the Big Ten. So I could see that as a possible, good hire for them. I mean, just look at his resume as a Nebraska fan. I don't know who you would want more. I mean, he was a NFL GM and head coach.
A bad one.
Now he's a Saban guy. He was a he was still one. He was a Belichick he's been with Belichick and Saban. Was really good at Penn State. So I don't know. I don't know what more you would want as a Nebraska fan.
Yeah, speaking of Penn State, the running back for Penn State is unbelievable. He might be one of the best players in the country. I think he's a true freshman, too.
He's good. And whatever helmet Clifford was wearing, or whatever his name is, y'all need to put y'all's sons in that helmet, because I don't know how he didn't have a concussion after that hit.
Dude, it woke him up.
First quarter.
It was the first drive. It woke him up.
Dude. Imagine, you get out of bed, you go warm up, and that's the first hit. Jeez. I thought he was dead. I mean, wouldn't you think, it's Auburn, right? I'm sure in the locker room they're like, man, we just ain't got it this year.
They have to. They have to know.
Put your head down into that dude's head, get targeting, knock him out of the game, You're knocked out of the game. That's fine. We can get another linebacker. Like, their quarterback's probably terrible. Their backup, like, not condoning injury or targeting, but I mean, I am. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you gotta think chess, not checkers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a walk-on, like, just bring a gun with you next game. When we play Alabama, just 3 or 4 guys just bring a gun, and we'll go from there.
I mean, we've found scissors on the field before, not by accident. You know what I mean? Happens like twice a year in the ACC, and I mean, they just got some dudes. They're just about that action.
But the NFL, I think it happened in Pittsburgh last year.
Makes sense.
Browns, Steelers, I think is when it happened. Myles Garrett thought about stabbing somebody with it.
Probably fell out of Kyle Rudolph's helmet 2 years ago, and they just stayed there.
Well,
always got to be ready.
Do you want to? You got anything else on college? You want to go ahead and slide to the NFL?
Yeah, let's go ahead and slide over to the NFL. I think I'm done with college.
So first thing, we started with Thursday Night Football, Chargers versus Chiefs. Chiefs win by 3. This was the smartest move by Amazon Prime. They had more people sign up this Thursday to watch that game than any other day of the year, like even on their big deal days and stuff like that. So, like it's the second week of the season, and they put this banger of a game on. You have to pay to get it. Yep. They probably just paid like half of their employees' salary with that money.
Yeah, I mean, genius move, and because people are gonna pay it. Like, I want to be mad at them. Like, and this is, I mean, I'm already on Prime, so like I didn't feel the repercussions of it, I guess. But people who wanted to watch that game, that didn't have Prime already, which Prime's great anyways. You get TV and faster shipping. So I mean, to me, it's worth it. But now you get football too. But I mean, to get these bangers of games, like now you got Pittsburgh and the Browns, which is obviously a huge rivalry. I mean, we just brought it up when we're talking about fights. It makes like those just garbage Thursday night games. If they're gonna put like these good matchups there, I mean, it totally changes the vibe for Thursday. Like, it's honestly like, let's kick off the weekend. And you get like Kirk Herbstreit too, which I love Kirk Herbstreit calling games.
He's the man.
So I don't know. I loved it. And people probably hate it. There's probably plenty of people that hated it or whatever, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
They did have some technical difficulties that kind of fuzzed out, but
to be expected.
Yeah. We had the Dolphins versus the Ravens, a tale of two halves. At first half, Lamar Jackson looked like the best player in football. The second half, Tua did. Or, the Miami's offense is ridiculous with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek. Like, they're going to run you to death.
And the tight end, he's got that weird last name, Gesicki. I mean, he's a beast.
With the worst gritty of all time.
Worst gritty ever. They called that the skedaddle or something like that on Twitter. It's hilarious. But no, I'm zoned for, on Fox I get the Commanders, and on CBS I get the Ravens. So I got to watch that game, and because the Commanders were just getting obliterated in the first half, it was embarrassing to even be associated. So I was watching the Ravens-Dolphins game, and I mean, it was incredible to watch live. Like, I mean, just back and forth, like you said, tale of two halves. Watching Tua throw for 6 touchdowns. I mean, that's just, or have 6 touchdowns. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw a stat where the Ravens defensive backs ran over 4,000 yards during the game. So that, like, you can't keep up with that. If Tyreek Hill, it's just how long can him and Waddle go? Just, one of them runs underneath, one of them goes over the top. You can't stop both of those. It's literally like the coach he's just playing Madden. And if both of them are covered, then he throws it to Gesicki.
And it's wild too, because like Waddle is almost as fast. I don't think he's as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he's fast. Right there in the same conversation. But he's also taller and can jump higher. Like, that one in the end zone where Tua threw it like in the perfect window where like he just knew how high Waddle could jump, and he jumps up and catches it, and you're sitting there like, how do you do that? Like, that's ridiculous, especially as a lefty.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And I have a hot take though. Everybody's like, dude, Waddle's touchdown celebration is sick. I don't like it. I think it's kind of lame.
I didn't even see it.
I think it's kind of weird.
I'll have to look it up on
Twitter. He does like a. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that.
I mean, it's just kind of, there's cooler things you could do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't make up a Waddle dance move. Don't just like sit there and do like a penguin waddle. It's just kind of corny, I guess. I don't know.
We had the Jets come back on the Browns, which is kind of ironic that the Browns gave up a comeback with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, but it's whatever. They saw also, this is complete karma for the Browns. I don't know if you saw a lot of the things in the stands or outside the stadium. I saw a mannequin laid there with, he was excited, and they had a sign there that said happy endings aren't illegal. And then I saw a couple with a jersey that both were Watson's number, and one of them said rub and one of them said tug. That's not what happened here, guys. This is sexual assault.
Yeah, this was not.
This isn't Robert Kraft.
This was not consensual. These were not consensual meetings. Like,
no,
this was sexual assault and harassment that should be treated seriously. And the city of Cleveland just continues to take the L, as they do over and over again, and just completely mishandled the situation.
Yeah, it's like
making jokes about it.
It's like they're trying to play the heel. Funny. They're trying to be the heel and like the bad guy, but like this is not where you take that stand.
I don't get it. No, it's not at all.
So good for them. I hope they never win a game again. The Lions absolutely throttled the commies. It just.
I mean, I don't know if throttle's the word.
It's pretty bad.
We came back in the second half.
Yeah, you made it a game.
Bad.
You made it a game.
It was 36-27. I will say though, man, the first half, like the Commanders would get the ball, like they would punt it and pin them down, like by the goal line. They'd be in like their 2 or 3, and I mean, Aiden Hutchinson would get there so fast, like there was nothing that Carson Wentz could do. I mean, he was snapping the ball and getting tackled. I mean, there's like I want to blame it on him, but like, I mean, the offensive line could not handle it. Which, I mean, I don't know what offensive line can handle it. Like,
he's tough.
He's good. Aiden Hutchinson is good at getting to the quarterback. So, I don't know. They made adjustments at halftime and made it a game. So, I mean, I can't be, like, overly mad about it. I wish, we would have beat the Lions. But I feel like the Lions are kind of on the come up. They still have some good players, and they've drafted well. So, I mean, it's when you play in the NFC East,
Beast.
you can afford a couple mistakes, just because of the other teams that are in it.
The AFC South picked up their first win with the Jags beating another member of the AFC South, the Colts.
Congrats.
This is the only NFL game I bet on this weekend. The Colts do not play well in Jacksonville.
No.
The Jags have...
Yeah, that one was an easy pick, too. Easy pick.
Since 2018, I think the Jags have won like 13 games, and the Colts are 5 of them. So, not a good look. The Bucks and Saints. First time we got some good action. This game was boring as crap the first half, and then Jameis does what Jameis does. The most entertaining man in sports. Throws 3 or 4 picks. Mike Evans jacks up Marcus Lattimore. That was awesome.
Dude, Mike Evans is about that action. Like this is the second time he's done it And with the Saints, like, who are like, supposed to be like all big and intimidating, and they are. I mean, they're a big, intimidating defense. They've always been a good defense, and Mike Evans just does not care.
No,
he doesn't care. You're not going to talk or touch his quarterback, outside of the play. Like, you're not going to. You're going to catch these hands, and I'm going to get ejected, and then you're going to get ejected.
Yeah,
I'm for it. Don't touch the quarterback, man. I don't. You can talk all your trash. You touch the quarterback, it's over. Like, you're done. You're done. You're getting laid out.
Yeah, you could read his lips after he did it, talking to the refs, trying to plead his case. He was like, "It's Tom Brady. What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah.
Like,
right.
He got in Tom Brady's face. I'm gonna have to hurt him. But they have. I mean, they're on site. Him and Marcus Lattimore, their beef is on site. Like, that's real hatred.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it reminded me, and I saw a video Sunday night of just the all-out brawl that OBJ and Josh Norman would get into, like, every time they played.
Those were awesome.
I mean, those were incredible because they would just go back and forth. Like, Josh Norman would break up a pass and just, teabag OBJ, and then they'd fight, and then somehow they'd stay in the game. And then, a couple drives later, OBJ would catch a touchdown and hit the step over. Yeah. And, like, Josh Norman would just sit there and take it, and you're just like, dude, this is great. Like, these are competitors competing, and it's awesome. And
shout out to OBJ. He's just gonna sign wherever he wants to, wherever he wants to. Like, he's just going on recruiting trips right now.
Yeah, he's going on like college visits.
He's just showing up, watching games, dapping up both teams. Like, hey, if y'all win, there's a good chance I come and play for you. He's gonna end up on the Bills. Is what's gonna happen. The Bills are gonna be like 10-0, and he's gonna sign with them.
That would be electric, though. I mean, what a power move too. Like, he's probably one of the only guys that could do that and get away with it.
I think Gronk's going to do it too.
Besides, you think so?
I think he's guaranteed to go to the Bucks, but I do think he's going to sign like week 12.
Like, if the Bucks get hot,
or if they just make the playoffs, he's going to come back and play. That'd
be awesome.
Giants played the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers are very bad. Baker Mayfield is a dude, but he's a very bad quarterback right now.
Yep.
Saquon looks good again.
I don't know how much help he's getting either. Like, sometimes, as much as you want the quarterback to be like the overall solution, like, no quarterback can just rebuild a team by themselves. You need a supporting cast, and it takes a full squad. It's not just a head coach. You need the OC. You need good position coaches. You need good position players. And I just don't think they have it.
Yeah, I agree. Patriots versus Steelers. This is arguably the most boring game of the week. Like, both of these teams stink. Their offenses stink.
It was a coaching matchup. It was the coaches just out there that's all it was.
Yeah.
Two defensive-minded coaches just doing their thing, nerding out. That was it.
Trying to find a way to win. The Falcons almost falconed the Rams. The Rams were up, 28-3. Atlanta comes all the way back, makes it 31-27. Got close, couldn't quite seal the deal. The 49ers and Seahawks. 49ers 27, Seahawks 7. The 49ers look way better after Trey Lance got hurt, and that's not a good sign for a guy you just put all your chips in on. As soon as Jimmy G came out, their odds got better, like betting. They were 21 or plus 2,100 to win it all. Now they're plus 1,800 to win it all after your starting quarterback gets hurt. That's not good.
No, that's not. I just don't know why teams rush to get players in, like these young quarterbacks in. Like, if you look at these great quarterbacks, like Tom Brady sat, Aaron Rodgers sat, Philip Rivers sat, and I don't know if Matt Ryan, how long he sat. But there's another good example of give me a second.
Trey Lance sat for a year, though.
Yeah, but just a year.
You don't think that's long enough?
Aaron Rodgers sat for like 4 years or 3 years.
Was it
he
really
sat
that
a long time. It was a long time. So I just don't see the rush. I mean, there's no rush. Like, I just don't, like, Patty Mahomes. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Patty Mahomes sat. So I don't see the rush. Like, if you have a decent quarterback you can make the playoffs with Jimmy G, like, just let these dudes learn. Because, like, you see, like, Geno Smith. I mean, he hasn't played in years, and he comes in and abuses the Broncos week 1. Like these dudes out on the bench are obviously still getting better and learning. So I just don't. You don't have to force these quarterbacks into a situation to where they're not ready. Now, I mean, obviously, I'm not there, so I don't want to, like, speak for Kyle Shanahan. Like, I mean, obviously, he's one of the best to do it. So, our best play callers and stuff right now. So, he knows better than me, but I just thought it was too early, personally.
Trey Lance is still just so young. Like, I think he's only thrown 1,000 or less than 1,000 throws, like, through college and now in the NFL. Like, that's not enough yet.
Right.
Because he only played really one season in college. Really.
Yep.
Bengals offensive line stinks, and Micah Parsons is going to wreak havoc on the NFL. Cowboys 20, Bengals 17.
For a long time.
I mean, Cooper Rush is winning a game against Joe Burrow. That can't happen.
No, and I think the Bengals are getting back to how they were, like, the first year with Joe Burrow. I mean, they're just not, like, their offensive line gets exposed over and over again. Like, and like they were good and knew enough last year where they could get away with it. Like, where it was just they were tough to game plan, but now there's no secret. I mean, it's tough. That's just tough as a quarterback. Like, you just know they're coming to eat you, and they're just going to bring the house every play. Like, what do you do? I mean, you just have to sit there and just get abused.
Yeah, and it's the second place Super Bowl slump. You make it to the Super Bowl, and then some people never make it back. Like Donovan McNabb makes it his first year or his second year, one of the two, and then he never gets to go back. So, like, it's tough to do. And I saw where Joe Burrow has been sacked 80-something times since first game of last year, and the next closest is like 40. So he's getting sacked double what anybody else is. Broncos, let's ride. 16-9 over the mighty Texans, who are now 0-1-1. I really don't have anything to say about this one. I think the Broncos kind of stink, honestly. Like, you get the Texans at home and you beat them by 7.
Yeah.
Kind of underwhelming.
I just don't. I didn't really watch or see anything from that game. So, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say. But Russell Wilson went 14 for 31 for 219. So, I mean, that kind of tells you why it was so bad. I wouldn't think that there was 16 drops, 17 drops, but
he does have Jerry Jeudy, so it is possible.
He didn't drop that much.
He drops a good bit.
Well, Cortland Sutton did have a good game. He had pretty much all of Russell Wilson's yards, 7 catches for 122. No tutties.
The Cardinals ended up making a comeback against the Raiders. You saw the stupid Raiders fans popping champagne in the crowd when it was like 21-3 or whatever, 23 to whatever it was, 23-10 maybe. And then Kyler Murray shows, just because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is out doesn't mean he can't do both. He's out there just slicing and dicing, and his hair is super weird. He's got to do something with his hair.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, he's got to get that down. He's probably just in the lab. Just he probably had like the dual screens, like film was up on the left. He's grinding, on his PS5 on the right. Which, I mean, I don't blame him. And he probably had the Twitch chat on his third screen over there. So, I mean, he's been a two-sport athlete his whole life. I mean, yeah, it takes him a couple years to adapt to be a professional two-sport athlete. But, hey, I mean, every day is about adjustments, for an athlete, I knew it was a matter of time, for him to break that record of being like and whatever on double XP weekends. So
yeah,
now he's 1 and whatever.
The Packers beat the Bears. I mean, rinse, wash, repeat. Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the Bears anytime they play. This was the most impressive outing to me. Is the Bills beat the Titans last night, 41-7.
Thumping. I got to pull up the stat line. If you watched it, you know why it was 41-7. I mean, I think they muffed 2 punts back to back, and then I believe a fumble, or was it a pick six as well? Maybe.
Yeah, they had a pick six. They really almost had 2 pick sixes. He dropped the second one, like almost immediately after. Yeah, it's never good when neither team has their starting quarterback in, like in the third quarter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Malik Willis is the guy, but I mean, I've been saying this for a while. Like, Ryan Tannehill has never been the guy. I know they finished number 1 in the AFC last year. They were the 1 seed. But, like, it's not because of him. He's never been the guy. I don't know why they just never tried to make a change there. It's always baffled me. He just messed up not enough to switch him out. He was just average enough. I don't know. I don't get why they kept him there, but now it's like too late.
He's got the highest contract in football. He has the highest salary hit in football right now. Higher than Patrick Mahomes.
Do you think if you're in the NFL locker room and you see stats like, the past however many Super Bowl winners haven't had like a top 10 highest paid quarterback, do you think you're sitting in that Titans locker room, like when he signs that contract, like, should I ask for a trade? Like, should I get out of here?
I already know we're not going to win.
If your end goal was to win the Super Bowl and you have a top 10 paid quarterback, why are you still there?
It's not going to happen.
If your one motivation, like, you don't care about the money, you don't really have a connection to the city, like, why are you still there? You know what I mean? I would probably feel like that in the back of my mind, like, I mean, which I guess you could always say, like, we're going to be the first one, but I mean, you're not. Like, it's just not. It's not going to happen. Not with the salary cap.
Have you seen the people on TikTok that are making their fantasy football teams? They drafted nothing but Bills players, and they're winning.
Yes.
That is an awesome strategy.
It's hilarious. Who do you take first, though? I mean, you have to take Josh Allen, right?
No, it's got to be Diggs.
Yeah, but then would Josh Allen even... I guess you could get him second round.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to take Diggs. Unless you're in our league and Josh Allen goes first overall. Then you're just done.
Oh, yeah, true.
But I don't really want to talk about that league. I don't know why I brought it up.
We can. Yeah, we can talk about one thing from it.
No, we don't have to.
We can talk. Really, I think I think me and you played this week.
I don't recall. I don't recall that.
I thought we did. I thought it was like 200 to 96.
I'm about to be like a guilty murder victim on the stand. I don't recall.
Yeah. I also came back and beat Levi. He was up like 30 points on me. Or I think he was up 40 points.
Yes,
and then I had Stephon
Levi
Diggs
needs to be humbled.
44.
Levi needs to be humbled. Just for people, on the outside of our league last year, we started a offensive player instead of a kicker, which can be any offensive player, hence the name offensive player. So it can be a quarterback. So your first reaction would be to think you're going to put a quarterback there. They score probably the most out of, from week to week. They're the most consistent double-digit high scores. Levi, being the creative mind that he is, says, "No, man, I'm not doing that. I'm putting a running back in there or a wide receiver. He treats it as like a second flex and dominates the league. Dominates it. I think he only lost like twice, and it was because he like forgot to set his lineup. Dude doesn't even think twice about losing in the playoffs, and he needs to be humbled. Somebody needs to take him a step down. So I'm glad you beat him this week.
Yeah, it was like 105 to like 141, and we both had one guy left, and mine scored like 44, and his scored like .8. I ended up beating him. But nobody cares about fantasy football. Not ours.
Well,
maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I heard it on TikTok. What if you got, you had a 10 league team, you had...
I know where you're going with this.
It would be tough. You had 30 dudes, and you do 10 teams of 3.
That would be awesome.
Team managers. So you have to think about it strategically, because then, like nobody... I'm not going to come on here, and if I wanted to drop our numbers, I would come on here and talk about how good my fantasy team is, week to week. Nobody would listen. Nobody cares. But if you're with your boys, you have like this group message with your 3 dudes that you're a manager with. I mean, you're chatting it up all week. It's so strategic. You have 3, just 3 minds coming together. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
I think that's something we should look into next year.
Definitely. I saw that same TikTok. It's a great idea. Because I think about my fantasy team 24/7, but I can't talk to anybody about it.
Yep. It's just me, myself, just thinking, like my inner self and my outer self just sitting here having a conversation. And like we're just having a ball thinking about it. Another weird quirk that I do is I watch the league every year while I'm playing fantasy football. Every year.
Are those new?
Kind of casually. No, very old.
Okay. I was about to say, I didn't think it was
very
still going
on. No, I just restart it and watch it. I love it. It's hilarious, and it's just so relatable. I don't know. It just gets me in the mood to play fantasy football, and just I wish our leagues were like their leagues, to where they just would like send videos to each other when like that was like a new thing back then. But like in their league chat and stuff, I don't know. It's hilarious.
Yes, we had the last game of the week. The Vikings looked awful, and Jalen Hurts looked very good. He looked very good in the first half. Very good in the first half. Second half, they kind of fell off. It seemed like they just tried to coast to finish the game.
Right.
But I think he had like 260 passing yards in the first half. Like that's it's a bad day to be a Tua Jalen Hurts hater. It was a bad weekend for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of them put on for the city.
That's right. And this, I think if this is a Sunday, 12 o'clock game, I think it's probably a better game. But prime time is like Kirk Cousins' kryptonite. He just can't perform.
He's 2-10, I think, in primetime games.
Yeah, he's like the opposite of a vampire. The sun is like power to him. He's doesn't like the dark. So
the less viewers, the better for him.
What'd you say?
So the less viewers, the better for him. And he's a good church boy.
Yes, correct.
But yeah, I'll say it. Jalen Hurts is cool. Jalen Hurts is really cool.
He's a cool guy.
He was cool. One of my favorite. If he's neck and neck, 1A, 1B, Jake Coker, Jalen Hurts, my favorite Alabama quarterbacks of all time.
See, Jake Coker's my favorite Alabama quarterback of all time, undisputed. But Jalen Hurts is up there. He's up there. I'm a fan of like those grinders. Like Mac Jones is probably my number 2. Like they just come in, they get the job done. Whatever it takes kind of guys. Those are my kind of guys. And Jake Coker was like that dude. But like Jalen Hurts was also very much like just a winner.
Oh yeah. Like
he's going to do what it takes. So he's very likable. Like does things the right way. Very humble. So I don't know. He's a cool guy. He's a good dude to root for.
But that's all I've got.
Yeah. That was a super good week of just football in general. And then shout out to Max Homa.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing home the Fortnite trophy.
Shout out Max Homa, back-to-back Fortnite champ. Which it actually is a golf tournament, not a Fortnite event, which he chips in on 18.
That's right.
Chips in like from the edge of the green. Crazy shot that it even goes in. It almost felt like a Hail Mary. Because the other guy's sitting there with a 4-foot putt for the win. Max chips it in. The homosexuals go crazy. Then I can't remember the dude's last name. Whitslet, maybe? Something like that. And he misses a 4-foot putt 3 times. First shot would have won it. Second shot would have tied it. Third shot lost it and got him second place. A 4-foot putt. Cost him millions, probably.
Yeah, it probably did. It probably did cost him a couple mil, if not like exactly $1 million.
They should show that. I mean, like on the TV viewing, it should be like, wow, this guy just missed
how
a
much this putt is worth.
Like he just went from 1.8 to 800 grand.
You could directly calculate it right there.
Yeah.
You know. Oh man, that would be mayhem.
Shout out to Max though.
Yeah, he's a very likable guy. He's cool. He's just one of those cool guys.
He's just a bro.
He is just a bro. But fun week. Let's get after it this weekend. We'll get back on schedule as far as our scheduling from here on out. But it's going to be a good one. Good weekend, both NFL and college. So let's light up the numbers. Let's make our bookies hate us.
Love you guys. Boom, son.